What's good, y'all? It's Minx. I just wanted to make a video because I just made a beat with my own voice. Used it in kind of like a rage type beat. Just wanted to show you basically how I went about doing that, like what my thought process was on what I should say, how I should process it, and all that. So before we even get started, I'm just gonna play y'all the beat, and you can hear it.
Hey, Minx.
Alright, so that's the beat and the main sections of it. So also too is if you didn't know, you can have like different types of arrangements. Well, there you go. Just do add one. But I use it a lot, especially when I use my own voice as a sample. So to start off, I just was singing like random shit. Literally, my girlfriend was in the shower, had to get something off my chest, just like wanted to sing when no one else was around. If you've ever done it before, you probably know how it gets, especially since you're a producer, you're not an artist. If you are an artist, then I guess you don't have that type of shyness. But I started out, wanted to do a vocal loop because I don't really have good vocals, so I decided I'd do something myself. I believe, yeah, so I didn't even bust anything out. I just put on auto-tune, a limiter because I have room noise, so I just wanted to put a gate on it. EQ, reverb. This is kind of like I don't even know. I got a bunch of these plugins and just kind of fucked with it until it sounded good. And then OTT. OTT's free, so I recommend everybody get it because I do feel like it's valuable. But anyway, we'll go and
Whoa,
yeah, here you go.
whoa, whoa, hey, come on, turn me up. Say you love me, baby, no, and I love you more. Whoa, whoa, hey, come on, turn me up, and I love you more.
So I suck at singing, and I didn't want to overdo the auto tune. Yeah, like if I was recording myself when I fuck around, I'll have it at like 1. But I wanted it to kind of have some sort of natural singing aspect of it, even if it was ass. I was going to put enough effects on it where it wasn't that bad. Oh, and that was without the effects anyway. But
Whoa, whoa, hey, come on, turn me up. Say you love me, baby, no, and I love you more.
yeah, in this session, I had a bunch of weird shit, so that's why it's crackling. I'm sorry about that. But ended up with, yeah.
Whoa, whoa, hey,
Pitched it up a little bit.
whoa, whoa, hey, come on, turn me up. Whoa, whoa, hey, come on, turn me up.
Put effects on it, and then I put it in Fruity Slicer and just kind of fucked with it. Made sure I just had different like sorted chops. So that ended up coming out like this. Yeah, so you don't really need to know how to sing or be able to do anything crazy. Just kind of get something down. It's like using a synth. Like you don't need to have the greatest synth sound in the world or like this is the preset. You can always put effects on it and kind of get something that you like. Even if it's not ideally what you wanted, you can have something to work with. But next, so I duplicated the pattern. I was going to make a beat. And it's the first channel. It's the first thing I put on. And then just for the bridge part, I put a shaper box on it because, or a Tantra. And Tantra, I think, is the best sort of like effects plugin, whether it's Looperator, Effectrix, stuff like that. I like DS Tantra 2 a lot, and I feel like people don't use it enough, and it really does good background ambiances, but regardless here. You know what I mean? Like, the vocal take was ass. Like, it wasn't good. But you can still do shit with it. Like, just try it. Like anything else in making beats, just fucking try it. Like, at a certain point, you're gonna get nice enough where it doesn't really matter what you do. You're gonna be able to salvage it at least. But next, what I started with was, let me just make sure I have it selected. Yep. Was I got a Xenology preset. Just want to do like a piano because then I could, if I didn't like the piano, I could use any other instrument. So that's what I went with. In my mindset on what I was doing here is I like to start with bass notes. Building chords, I've realized like recently, and it took me like 10 years of producing to kind of understand, is you're pretty locked in when you make a chord, at least in my opinion. If you just start with bass notes, you're more free to do other shit that you'd want to do with it, or chords that you don't necessarily like the whole sound, like the harmony of it. You're able to use the bass notes to kind of get more close to what you wanted. And then you just put top notes and little grace notes and shit, but this is what I ended up coming up with. And I actually had no effects on that because I liked where it was. Next, once I have that, I need some sort of lead. This is actually a good like demonstration of kind of what I do. I need some sort of lead that's going to play. It didn't end up being the main one, but even if you have two, I think it's good, especially if you have one kind of tucked in the background. And I understand that there is kind of no point to have sounds tucked in the background. But if it's adding a feeling, then sure. You don't it doesn't need to be piercing. You don't need to have a piercing lead, or it can be treated like a pad almost. You know what I mean? But this is what I came up with. Yeah, I didn't have anything on it because I felt like the delay on it was enough already. Next, went and got a bass from, let's see, wow, I'm struggling on that. It's Serum. Let's see if it's one of mine. So yeah, it's a preset I made. And once again, just follows the chord progression. So it's going to be a 6-5-1. And there's actually a Lil Uzi song, like a leak that I've been listening to a lot, Blow the Whistle. Listen to that. That shit is crazy. But they kind of do this, well, they do this exact thing the entire beat, like just this. And I really fuck with it. So that was my inspiration. Raise it up an octave. Alright, and that had no effects on it. This ended up being the main lead, and no, this was, never mind, the other one was the main lead, my apologies. And just something repetitive in the background. And I put halftime, EQ to clean it up, some random effect racks just to give it like that like pulsing effect, and another EQ. You gotta do too much, man. And then I want to do an ARP because I felt like it was like some sort of Slayer shit, so he used a lot of ARPs. That had VHS because I like you can get the magic switch like just as it is, but if you get super VHS you can also do like, it's a compression, like a wobble effect, and some like reverb. And then I put spaced out on it just because I really wanted to give it like that background, like ethereal type of effect. But all the melodies together. And I need to get a new CPU, that's why the crackling. I apologize. But if I just did the stems, then you guys wouldn't be able to see the MIDI. And I know when I was, even now, like, I like to see the MIDI. I want to know what's going on exactly. So I want to make sure you guys had that. But usually when I do beats, I start with an 808, like once I have the melody down. I like doing an 808 because if the 808's fucked up, the rest of the beat's going to be fucked up, in my opinion. But normally I'll put the 808s down, then I'll mute it, and then do all my percussion and shit. And then I'll put the 808s back on. And like if I had a weird roll with the hi-hats at the end and it conflicted with this, one of them's got to change, in my opinion. Like that's overlapping rolls, I feel like, is the quickest way for someone to tell that you were trying to do too much. Even if it's a hectic beat, like, it just doesn't sound right, at least to me. But once again, there's no rules in music, so do whatever you want. But decided just follow the bass note, or just follow the root notes. And I feel like it's relatively simple. It's just cutting on the clap to give it kind of some room to breathe. I feel like it makes this 808 hit a lot harder when there's some space behind it. But just like I did on the sub bass, I wanted to lift this one up an octave. Did it here too. And this is like the 3, and this is the 2, and then it just glides down. But simple enough. Hi-hats, nothing too crazy. Doing regular clap, not gonna play it. Something weird with I did the ADSR thing with the hi-hats as well. So if you guys haven't already, just turn everything down, go to hold, go to this, save as, and I just put box. You can do 808, whatever you want, but it just makes it so the notes only play for as long as you put them out for. But instead of like it like pauses, and I feel like that's cool. But a little triangle, a chant, a snare roll, and another accent snare. So the percussion together sounds like. Added my tag, and yeah, that's the finished product. I mean, once again, the beat.
Hey, Minx.
And yeah, that's it. I mean, not simple, but I felt like I was allowed to be creative, and that's why I like making these beats a lot of the times. And I think artists like Slayer coming out are great with it, especially he does a lot of his own production. I think it's really cool. Instead of just like piano-based music or like a guitar loop, like use weird sounds, use stuff that no one's heard before. Like music's supposed to be an experience, and I feel like music like this is kind of pushing the sound forward and kind of going in the direction that I feel like rap music or whatever, melodic rap, whatever the fuck you want to call it, just good music in general should be going if you're not going to make like pop music. Drums that aren't really doing the most, they have energy, a bunch of leads and sounds you haven't heard before, and I got to sample my own voice, so I thought all that was fun. And I feel like making beats, you're supposed to have fun, you're supposed to enjoy yourself. So if you guys want to hear me do something else, like remake another beat in this style or another style, just please comment. If you could also sub, that'd be great. It really does a lot. But yeah, if you want to hear anything else, I feel like I'm going to make a tutorial for this one as well.
Hey, Minx. Hey, Minx.
also have different type of styles. If you just want anything you guys want, I feel like I could cook something up and kind of be pretty close to accurate. But yeah, I just want to make sure that if anyone else was trying to make some sort of like Slayer type beats, you had kind of a groundwork for it. He's like a newer artist, and I've seen a couple videos of people talking about it. But if y'all want anything else from me, let me know. If y'all ever need anything, you can DM me on Instagram. It can be music related, it doesn't have to be. I'm 28 years old, so I've been doing this a while. I know the ups and downs, the trials and tribulations of doing this shit. Um, and just have some life experience. So if you ever want to talk, if you ever need anything, you can let me know on Instagram. If you want to see anything else, please like, sub, and comment what you want me to do next. Yeah, stay blessed, everybody.